Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Culpepper, and this is On the Fly Thanksgiving in Georgia at the Moore's Residence. And I'm here with somebody that's really special. He has a story to share with you that may inspire you in your own city when you hear about what he's doing in Hendersonville, North Carolina. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome my uncle, Uncle Ronnie Pepper. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us who you are.
Well,
tell us a little bit about you, man.
Been married for almost 42 years with my wife,
Yeah.
2 children. We got about 6 grandchildren. Know the Lord.
Know the Lord.
Born again. Yes, indeed. Know the Lord. And one of the things that we do, everything that we do for Him.
Right.
Because He built us. Everything that's inside of us that we don't even know about,
Right.
He has planted there. And it's up to us to kind of help it to grow. And He's patient with that.
Right.
You know, He knows it's not going to come all at one time.
Now tell us about some of your hobbies. I know you said you like to read.
I like to read.
You worked in a library, did a lot of community work.
Yes, I work in the library right now. I've been doing that for about 6 years. Love to read, you know, fiction. But right now I'm on a theme of reading history and nonfiction because I need to learn about ourselves as people. I've served on boards, Blue Ridge Community College Board, started an organization, helped start an organization, United Religions Initiative, which is a national group. If you get a chance, Google it and look at some of the things that they're doing. Okay. Also, work on the housing authority, for Hendersonville Housing Authority. And one reason that touched my heart was because at one point we lived in public housing. People have a bad thing about public housing, but public housing gives you an opportunity to get a good foundation.
Right.
You can live there, but you don't have to stay
there.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Gives you a chance to rise up.
That's right.
To rise up, and we need to take those opportunities.
I like that, man, and I see that you know, through your life travels and through all of the activities and the things that you've done in the community. You and your wife are pillars in the community because your wife also does some service in the community.
Yeah,
right?
She does. She's a physical instructor. She likes to teach. She does health, nutrition. She teaches aerobics, swim classes, things like that.
Right.
And also she serves on board. She was awarded an award with Athena Group. And this is women that are giving back to their community and becoming entrepreneurs, becoming advocates, and becoming role models to other women, helping them receive a voice.
Man, and what I'm hearing and what I know to be true, because you've been my Uncle Ronnie ever since I married Keisha for years, you've always been involved in a positive manner in reading in the public schools, mentoring, and doing things in the community.
Yes, indeed.
So tell us about your newest project with local Black history, with the Black History, with BlackHistories.org. Tell me a little bit about
Well, one of the things is that we got started on that. It was about 10, 12 years ago when we did we had an individual from the community that researched a Kingdom of Happy Land. And this was after the Civil War.
Okay.
We had groups of blacks that came up through Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, and they found a place in Henderson County, and they took the property. They didn't take it, but they eventually bought the property, about 175 to 200 acres, and they built a community that was based upon a village in Africa. Okay. So they wanted a place where they would be safe, that they could be self-sufficient, and to grow and to indulge in growing themselves and believing in themselves.
Okay.
And so we started with that, but then as we started to research, we realized that everything is taught from a white perspective, our history, and a lot of our history isn't told. And so it's important that we as people know who we are.
Right.
Because when we talk about, you know, kids go to school and they talking about the ancestors, the thing that comes up with us as black is we were slaves.
Right.
But before we were slaves, we didn't just come here as slaves.
Right.
We came here with knowledge.
That's right.
Individuals that the white community that came in and the individuals that was capturing the slaves, they went with a purpose because they knew that we had knowledge that they didn't know. Even though we came over to this country without any clothes, we came with knowledge, with information.
You know, that's interesting that you would say that, Uncle Ronnie, because when I was in school, I was made to believe we were saved from something. Being over here was the best thing for us. That's what I was told. I was a slave, right? Now think about what that does to me mentally as a child, to say, man, I was never free. I didn't have nothing, no thought that I was rescued by Christopher Columbus and brought over here. You understand what I'm saying? The mentality of what was taught to me in grade school.
Everything that you or any black person knew, they got it from this country.
Exactly, got it from there.
Was educated by this country. That's not true. Because when we were people before then. One of the things that we don't understand our history. You know, you had kingdoms in Malawi, you had kingdoms in Timbuktu that had riches, that had libraries, that had artifacts, that had architects. We were sailors, but we don't know that history.
Right.
And so basically when we were brought here as slaves, all of that was washed away and we were brainwashed into thinking that we were always slaves.
Right.
But we came here with knowledge. You know, you take Charleston, South Carolina, the Carolina gold, the rice there that made this country rich. Guess who built those rice fields? Blacks. And guess what? We were doing it in Africa because that's what we did.
Right.
We raised cotton in Africa. Okay.
Right.
We were architects. We built buildings. Think of the buildings that was the Washington D.C. that was laid out by a black person.
Ain't that something?
Exactly.
And you're right. It is a shame that portion of our history is not even taught in public schools.
Yeah.
Right. You hear about Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, which are all in Frederick Douglass, but see, you don't hear about who we were before we came here, and it's almost a shame that we have to go to college and take up an African American studies class or do our own independent research, which we should do anyways, to do it, to get this information, right?
Exactly.
Because that's what I was taught in school. Why would you want to go back to Africa when the commercials show kids malnutrition, drinking water out of mud, flies around their eyes? You see what I'm saying? That's what the commercials that come on at night, right? About feeding the homeless. But that's what you see, and it's like, yeah, we saved you from that. But you know what I'm saying?
But think about this. That's the way it's framed. If you got a picture frame, if you have a picture, you frame it in what you want others to see. And then when people come up and see that picture, they say, oh man, that is a beautiful picture. But it's because they framed it.
Right.
So the people that, the people here in the United States, they have framed us as a certain way. And once we look at it, we see it, and we believe it, and then we start acting like it. And so one of the things with our organization, we want to go back and we want to see it from a black perspective. We want to see the good things that we have done, that we know that we've done. But we're not talked about.
Right.
And we have to do the work, in other words, to teach others.
And not only Uncle Ronnie has it impacted us as a black people, but a lot of other races see us the way that we have been portrayed.
Exactly.
They don't see us in the way of being kings and queens, where we come from and having this knowledge and being able to do these things. So they're being misled also to follow the narrative that we see in TV about African Americans, right? And it's normally not portrayed as good.
Exactly.
It's portrayed the wrong way, right?
Exactly.
And so it's limiting people on who we really are and what we're capable of and what we've done.
And guess who suffers for it? The country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we got scientists, we got mathematicians, we got architects that could even do better and make this country even far more progressive and productive.
Right.
But it's almost like you having a box,
Right.
or underneath your bed of gold or silver that's valuable. But guess what you do? You shun it and you hide it under the bed. How does that benefit you?
It don't.
And guess what? That's the same thing that's been done with blacks. We've been put off in the corner and we're not being benefited, used the way we should be used
Right.
for the growth of the country.
Right. That's absolutely right. This last 45 seconds we got before we close out the program, I would like for you to give a charge to anyone that's watching this video. Give them the last inspiring statement, whatever you want to say to encourage us to get more involved in our community and to make a difference and a change just like we're doing now. So whatever you want to tell
Well,
them.
one of the things that I would start is, this is Thanksgiving. And one of the things that we do at Thanksgiving, we gather around with our families. And, you know, when you're there with your families, listen. Listen to our elders. Encourage them to talk. You know, sometimes they don't want to talk about some things, maybe because we're not listening. If we listen, we will find out that they've got wisdom, that they've got knowledge that we can use. We want to encourage that. We want to also encourage other cultures to listen to other cultures, because there's no such thing a hierarchy, who's the best. Because when God made us, he made us as one. He made us as a people. It wasn't until man comes along and then he broke them into categories. And then he tried to, who was the top, who's the second, who's the third. But we all the same. And what I would do is encourage you guys to listen to these stories, write them down, and remember them and pass them on. Because if we don't, if we don't know where we've been, how are we going to know where we're going forward? We've got lots. We've got jewels. We've got a lot of information that we don't recognize as being valuable. And we ourselves are valuable as black people. And that's the first thing that we've got to do, is realize, regardless what shade we is, whether we got hair or not hair, or what color it is, we are good. Because why? God made us. And God don't make junk.
That's right. Well, thank y'all very much for watching. Thank you, Uncle Ronnie, for sharing your story,
Yes.
man. You all be sure to visit the website, check out the stories, and follow the stories, and find out what's in your suitcase. And I'm going to find out what's in my suitcase that don't need to be there, so that I can take it out and replace it with something that's fact, so it can help me be a better person in my own community where I live at. And that's the challenge. Make a difference wherever you at.
Make a difference.
That's it.
Happy
Thank y'all for watching.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.